In this presentation, we will come to know what lesson plan is beneficial for effective learning. Lesson topic is understanding phrase structure. Level is intermediate. Time is 60 minutes. First of all, we will try to understand what are the learning outcomes. So before making understand this topic to the students, firstly they should know about the learning outcomes of the topic. The learning outcomes are as follows. It means so before going deep into the topic, the students should be know about the learning outcomes, that what are the learning outcomes of the topic today. The first learning outcome is identify and explain the components of a phrase structure, pre-modification, head, and post-modification. Number two, recognize and create phrases with different structures. Number three, apply knowledge of phrase structure in sentence construction. So these are the learning outcomes. The next thing is instructional material. The second thing is instruction material, instruction tool. In this topic, as a teacher, I will need different material that is given below: whiteboard and markers, handouts with examples and exercises, online resources, example given grammar guides, interactive exercises. The next thing is teaching method. Regarding this topic, as a teacher, I can use different ways to make them understand, means students, but the most fruitful methodology is discussed below. The first technique in this regard is warm up 5 minutes. Word association game. The first technique is word association games. In this game, firstly, I will write a word on the board, for example, happy, and then I will ask students to come up with words related to happy. Example given: smile, joy, celebrate, etc. So, what's the advantage of this activity? The advantage of this activity is that students will think about word relationships and prepare them for phrase structure. So in this way, the students will warm up and they will easily understand the topic. The second technique in this topic is presentation 15 minutes. This is second technique. In just 15 minutes, I will introduce the concept of phrase structure and its components, that are pre-modification, head, and post-modification. I will also use simple examples to illustrate each component. For example, the big house. So the example that I have given, the big house. So in this example, the article "the" is pre-modification. It's a pre-modification, means as this word comes before the word big, so it's a pre-modification. And the next is house. So house is head. House, according to grammar, according to phrase structure, this is called head. And the next thing is that big is pre-modification. So there are three components. In a phrase structure. The first is pre-modification, the second is head, and the third is post-modification. So these are the components of a phrase structure. So in this way, the students will clearly come to know about the components of phrase structure. That is, they will come to know what is pre-modification, what is head, and what is post-modification. Another important thing is that as a teacher, I will use the whiteboard to create a diagram that will illustrate phrase structure. So I will draw a diagram on the whiteboard to make them understand. Take for instance, a diagram is drawn here, like in this diagram, the example is written, and the example is the big college. Okay. In this sentence, in this phrase, you can see that pre-modification. Ta is a pre-modification, and college is a head, and big is a post modification. So this is also a technique that the diagram is drawn, and they will easily got the point. In teaching phrase structure, so in this regard, my teaching methodology that I have discussed, so in this regard, the third point is practice 20 minutes. So this is the third technique, in which I will provide students with handouts containing exercises on identifying and creating phrases with different structures. I will also make groups of students in the class in order to complete the exercises. Then they will circulate around the room to offer guidance and answer questions. So this is the practice for 20 minutes. So after going across from these steps, the fourth step is production, 15 minutes. Creating original phrases. Ask students to create their own phrases using different structures. Encourage students to share their phrases with the class. Provide feedback on phrase structure and suggest improvement. So, this is the fourth technique. In this, I will ask students to create their own phrases using different structures. For example, for example, the big house, okay, the big college, okay, the big institute. So in this way, the students can create a lot of phrases. So at last, I will provide feedback on phrase structure and suggest them improvement. So after making them understand the phrase structure, so as we have come across different from different steps like practice 20 minutes, production 15 minutes, okay, and 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 the next thing, and the first thing was a presentation. So these were the fourth techniques that I will use with the students. So the next thing is that assessment and feedback. Now it's the time of assessment and feedback. Assessment and feedback, evaluating student learning. So it means at this stage, as a teacher, I need an assessment and a feedback. So in this regard, there are two types of assessments, and one is a feedback. And the feedback is very important. Corrective feedback is very important in this regard. The first assessment is formative assessment. Monitor student participation during practice and production stages. So, in this assessment, it means I will monitor, as a teacher, I will monitor students' participation during the practice and production stages in order to check their learning process. So, this is the formative assessment, means when the students will be farming phrases, okay. At that very time, I have to monitor the students, whether they are participating in this practice and production stages or not. So this assessment is called formative assessment. The next assessment is summative assessment. Collect handouts with exercises and review student created phrases. So in this assessment, I will collect students' handouts with exercises and review their phrases that are created during the production stages. So, as a teacher, I will collect all the students' handouts with exercises that they have done in the class, and review their phrases and check their phrases that are created during the production stages. The next thing in this regard is corrective feedback. Provide individual feedback on phrase structure and highlight areas for improvement. So, now as a teacher, at this stage, I will provide individual feedback to every student on their phrase structure and highlight areas of improvement. So this was all about assessments and feedbacks. Now I will need to test them, as it is a time of reflection and evaluation. Learner feedback. distribute feedback forms to students and ask for suggestion for improvement. uh, at this stage I will provide a feedback form to students, ask them to evaluate the lesson and provide suggestion for improvement. So at this stage the students will provide their feedback, okay, and and I will ask them to evaluate the lesson, to test the lesson, to check the lesson, and they will provide suggestions for improvement. So this is the learner feedback. Learner feedback means the students, okay, the students' feedback. The next is a self reflection. Reflect on the lesson and identify areas for improvement. So at this very stage the students understand what they worked well and what could be improved. So they will understand what they have worked very well and what is the need of improvement, what thing should be improved. So they will provide their feedback on this very form. The last thing in this regard is adjustments for future lessons. Make adjustments to the lesson plan based on learner feedback and self reflection. So, after this very process that we have discussed, so as a teacher, I will make adjustments to the lesson plan that is based on learner feedback and self reflection. Now, let's go towards the conclusion. So, conclusion is that after describing all the techniques, okay, of a effective lesson plan in which teaching method is involved, like warm up activities, a presentation for 15 minutes in which we will make them understand about post modification, pre modification, and head in a very simple and easy way. And the next thing is all that practice for 20 minutes and production 15 minutes. So after following this teaching method, so students will able to understand this very topic. And the next thing is that assessment and feedback, as these are the vital things in this regard. So assessment and feedback will also uh, play its vital role in this regard, okay. And the next thing is that reflection and evaluation. So in reflection and evaluation, it will be very beneficial for me as a teacher that students will get the main points, will get the understanding of this very topic, phrase structure, and they will also give suggestions and about the topic. So it means that after discussing all these things, after applying all these techniques in this in this topic, so they will gain a solid understanding of phrase structure and its components, and they will be able to apply to use this knowledge in sentence constructions. So this was all about a lesson, an effective lesson plan for for teaching phrase structure. So this is the end of the presentation.